What up, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of Dodgers Territory. It is the post-trade deadline show. I am Alanna Rizzo. That is Clint Pasillas. It is so awesome to have you guys here. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday. We appreciate you guys very much. Please rate us 5 stars, like and subscribe. All of the things, always on YouTube, but also on any platform in which you get your podcast. We're so happy that you're here. By the way, you can support us with the merch. Appreciate you guys very much. The Dodgers Territory shop has been open for a bit. Go to DodgersTerritoryShop.com or click the store button right here on YouTube. Support the show in style. Happy trade deadline, everybody. If you are a Dodgers fan, like Alex Renteria, he probably thinks it was underwhelming, although there was a lot of activity, Clint Pasillas. Let's get into it. Let's bring up the big ticket. So, yes, Alex is saying the trade deadline was so underwhelming. But, Clint, we knew this, though. We knew going into the trade deadline the Dodgers were not going to do much because they didn't need to do much. The whole point was they get them all in the offseason coming into the season. So not a lot of need was needed at this deadline.
Well, I mean, we know what the team needs is to get healthy and to have Mookie play at his, somewhere near his capability. Teoscar to get back to driving in runs. Freddie Freeman to be consistent. Max Muncy to be back. Tommy Edman to be hitting a baseball with a little more authority. But there were some areas, fringy areas where they could improve. Like they did not need both of James Outman and Estuary Ruiz on this roster. So they remedied part of that, of course, with the Outfielder edition, the guy all of us had on our bingo cards. And here's the full recap. I'm sure we'll see the screen a few times, but you see Brock Stewart, a pitcher. We'll talk about him in a second. But Alex Call of the Washington Nationals, again, absolutely not somebody I know. I'm not deep. I'm not rich in Nationals lore.
I didn't even know who that was. I had no idea who Alex Call was, which is on me. That's on me. But I was like, who's Alex Call? But I will say this. I'm not surprised that James Outman got traded. Like he just has not been productive. He had a really, really strong spring training a few spring trainings ago, and he hasn't really materialized into much. So I'm not bummed about it. I wish him the best, obviously, but I'm not bummed that he was traded. Brock Stewart, I mean, Stu has been welcome back, Beef. He's been good for the Twins, and welcome home, I guess. But again, I wasn't expecting anything massive that the Dodgers did. But this is what I took away from this trade deadline, Clint, is the National League around the Dodgers got a whole hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
And I think that our competition just increased a billionfold. The Mets got a lot better, the Phillies got a lot better, and the Padres got a lot better. And those are the teams, obviously, not to take anything away from the Cubs or the Brewers or whatever, but those teams, I think, are teams that stand in our way of going deep into the postseason.
Yep.
And those teams did some shit, and they got a lot better. Not to say the Dodgers aren't great, not to say the Dodgers won't get into the postseason, obviously, not to say the Dodgers can't get back to the World Series, but the teams in their way got a lot better.
Yeah, and I think that's part of some of the frustration for Dodgers fans on this trade deadline day is they saw the Padres get a lot better, nipping right on the Dodgers' heels, only 3 games behind them in the National League West at the moment. And to see them add, I mean, they kind of added up everybody there. You get another closer just for funsies with Mason Miller, Ryan O'Hearn added to the mix there.
He's just not another closer, Clint. Mason Miller is like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude's a beast, and maybe he ends up moving into their starting rotation next year. We don't care about next year yet. I care about this year right now. Let's do this. We'll talk a lot more about our fears for the rest of the competition around us a little bit later on in the show. I do want to maybe help settle some trepidation for Alex Call, the outfielder they got from the Nationals. Made his debut in 22. He's kind of bounced. Well, he not really bounced around. He debuted with the Cleveland Guardians, traded over to the Nationals. He's kind of been sort of a play anywhere fourth outfielder dude, but he rates as having plus defense in the outfield, and that is an area of concern for this team. The defense in the outfield has been a bit on the shite side at times, so they need some help, some assistance there. Dodgers general manager Brandon Gomes did speak to reporters after the deadline, mentioning that they kind of view Call as more of a fourth outfielder type, mostly because, hey, let's be real, let's be fair. You even praised the dude on Tuesday's show. Michael Conforto has been a lot better at baseball of late, hitting, I think he has an OPS approaching 900 over his last almost 30 games. He's doing better. They're not going to take Teoscar out of the lineup. They're not going to take Andy Pages out of the lineup. So to have Alex Call either be some sort of defensive replacement or somebody who can act as a platoon to Conforto.
To me, Alex Call is signed for his offense. James Outman could not hit.
Yeah,
right?
Well, there's that. There's
James
again,
Outman cannot
knowing
hit.
who he's replacing.
Outman could not hit, and Conforto could not hit up until the last 2 weeks, right? So I think if you look at Alex Call from the Nationals, you put it in our rundown. Over the last 2 seasons, a combined 297, 388, 432 over 102 games. I will take that offense over what Outman and Conforto were giving us. I said the things I had to have at the deadline were a decently offensively productive outfielder, enter Alex Call, a bullpen arm, did not get, both. But whatever.
Well, he got Brock Stewart if he's not a closer.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. He's not a closer, but he's been electric
Dustin May
in relief.
going to the bullpen, and now Dustin May's a Red Sox. So I guess that I got, for the most part, what I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, for the greater part, Dustin May, we'll talk about him in a second. But the final thing on Call, it's a net positive for the Dodgers' 26-man active roster. Also, this team needed to jettison some, I don't want to say dead weight because that's not fair to James Outman, but they needed to jettison some players on the 40-man roster because guess what? The Dodgers aren't done at the trade deadline. They get to add Blake Snell to the roster on Saturday to face his old mates.
That's the best acquisition you could possibly want, right? That's the best acquisition you could. He would have been. Let's say Blake Snell was in the trade market, or let's say Blake Snell was going to be a free agent at the end of the season. Everybody would have been clamoring to get Blake Snell, and the only team that could get him is us, right? Yep. So that is the biggest acquisition. You have to look at it as a trade deadline acquisition because basically he's been on the shelf the entire season. So look at it as if the Dodgers acquired him at the deadline because they did. So that to me is a massive upside positive.
Now, people aren't definitely going to be as excited about Brock Stewart. I want to talk more about Brock Stewart a little bit later in the show. We're going to spotlight him in one of our next segments. But going back to this screen again, getting Beef, as you call him, Beef Stew, B-Stew back. Great dude. He has lived a life since his last time donning the Dodger uniform, went to one of those pitching labs and kind of reinvented himself now as a very hard-throwing reliever. He has his Tommy John surgery out of the way. He's good to go. And he has been electric coming out of the bullpen for the Twins this year.
The Twins,
mostly had pretty good bullpen, but 2.38 ERA over 39 games, career high 39 games. And the important thing for him is this fills that Evan Phillips-sized hole in the Dodger bullpen, and it means you don't need to rely on your Will Kleins, your Lou Trivinos.
I agree with you, and I'm happy. I am happy for Brock and Christy Stewart coming back. I'm sure that they never wanted to leave LA to begin with. I mean, I don't know, but I would imagine you don't ever want to get traded away from LA. But they're back, and he's much better, and he's reinvented himself. Obviously, we knew him as a starter. Now he's a guy coming out of the bullpen that, as you mentioned, a 2.38 ERA. He's throwing gas. That's probably a better role for him. It replaces Evan Phillips as much as you can replace Evan Phillips in the Dodger bullpen. So I'm fine with it. And again, as much as I respect James Outman, I want him to be successful. Like, that's a good move. You needed to get another bullpen arm. You needed to get somebody that could hit, and maybe that's Call. And it's got to be better than what Outman was doing in terms of production, right? Again, no disrespect, but the Dodgers are in it to win it, and I think they got better. I know everyone wanted this massive splash, and we wanted Mason Miller or Johan Duran, who, by the way, I'm blown away that he got dealt.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Helsley, those types of things. I get it. Like, you're just like, holy shit. But I think the Dodgers got better, and they didn't need to give away the farm to do it.
I mean, I'm going to put this back up for a third and final time. The fact that they got as much talent, there also was like a kind of minor trade yesterday. The Dodgers acquiring some prospect talent that we don't need to dive too much into today. But to trade away Dustin May for a pair of outfield prospects, James Outman, who didn't have a role and probably could use a fresh start somewhere else, and Hunter Fiducia, who was beyond buried as a backup to the backup to the backup catcher.
Now he'll be able to play.
He's going to get a chance, and I really like him going to Tampa Bay, where Tampa is creative. If he can't catch, they will find a way to get him into the lineup. They made Luke Raley into somebody for a little bit of time. They could do something with a Hunter Fiducia, but that's it. It's an underwhelming deadline. We'll talk about that, or we'll talk about that idea. Like, was it an underwhelming deadline? For many, yeah, it was. But it was what the Dodgers had telegraphed.
Overall, the deadline was insane. Maybe not for the Dodgers, but overall, the deadline was stupid. So we'll talk a lot more about that after a quick word from our friends at Foul Territory.
Do you have the best VPN in the game? Are you saving enough on your VPN? You got to check out surfshark.com/Val or use the code FOUL at checkout on the site to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. There's a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee at surfshark.com/Val. Kratz, if you're on the go a lot, you got to check out Surfshark.
It's a no-brainer. I'm at the beach, so I should know something about a surf shark. Just saying. Get it done. 30 days.
That's right. Secure your digital life with Surfshark VPN. You can hit the link below for 4 extra months of Surfshark, either on the podcast page or on the YouTube channel. Don't let online threats catch you off guard. This has been your tech update. You want to keep your data safe and make sure you check out Surfshark today. It's a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can secure your digital world right now.
DT fam, we are back, and we got to talk more about this deadline because, again, in terms of players coming to the Dodgers, it's real easy to say this was underwhelming. Brandon Gomes, GM of your Los Angeles Dodgers, addressed it, saying a lot of the same type of words, the breadcrumbs he's been sprinkling along the way leading up to this deadline. Don't expect a lot, but here's what he had to say. Riz, you're better at doing words than I am, so why don't you tell the people what Brandon had to say?
All right, so Gomes said this. I think it's always about how does everything fit together with what our current roster is and what our needs are. We went into the season with a really high bar of talent outside of losing Evan Phillips. We're in that same spot, so we felt this is an incredibly talented group that as we get healthy and these guys hit their stride, we feel like we're in a great position for another deep run into October. And that's exactly what they are. And that's exactly what nobody should be surprised by this, right? Nobody should be like, why didn't they make a massive deal? We knew they weren't going to make a massive deal because they don't need to make a massive deal. We knew that the Dodgers were going to just do small complementary pieces to kind of fill the holes that they feel were necessary at the time. I mean, this is a team that is still in first place. This is a team that is getting into the postseason. This is the team that is built for October. They added a bullpen piece in Brock Stewart. Check. They added a guy that can actually hit the ball and drive in some runs in call. Check. And they did not put Dustin May in the bullpen, but they traded away Dustin May. So that gives him an opportunity to probably be in the starting rotation for Boston, who, by the way, Boston didn't do a goddamn thing. And I live in the Boston area, and people listen to talk radio here. Mercy. But the Dodgers did exactly what they needed to do to fill the holes that they have, which are small holes, you guys. They're small, small holes. Yeah. So I understand everyone wants this massive deal and all this like fanfare. They didn't need to do it. They did exactly what they said they were going to do, which is not a ton, and that's okay.
Yeah. And I also understand the viewpoint of now we are once again burdened with ifs. If Max Muncy comes back and isn't healthy and continues playing at the clip he was, which was an insane clip, as our buddy Scott Braun joins us, and I'm sure he has some thoughts and opinions about his Mets landing a few players, even though he covers all the teams.
A few. Good God.
Landing a few players, few big arms and things going on over there. But if Mookie Betts can figure out how to be Mookie Betts again, look at yourself in the mirror and remember, you are MLB 50. Again, the same thing that I said earlier. Teo figures it out. You got Trinan back. You're adding Blake Snell. If some of the other guys, Brusdar Graterol is able to come back. If Tanner Scott is not, dead and buried, all of those pieces add up to something special. And this is what our friend Bill Plunkett had said as well. It's marginally improved all around, but the thing is, nobody gets to add all of those pieces again. Nobody gets to maybe add Michael Kopech and his 102-mile-an-hour fastball and his World Series moxie now that he has under his belt. The Dodgers are very, very good, and it's better to kind of rely on this talent that has been there and done that before than a bunch of randos that fill up a locker room, and then there's too many bodies for not enough seats, and then people start getting mad, and you start getting maybe like a 2012, 2013 locker room.
Don't you think the Dodgers are on the pulse of where all these guys are physically? And where they are standing in their health, and they know exactly what they're doing and exactly what they can give.
I trust.
And Plunkett I trust him. And Plunkett is right. It's like you're hoping. Throw that back up there. You're hoping that it's the Blake Snells of the world, the Brusdar Graterols of the world, the Michael Kopechs of the world, and obviously Max Muncy. Max Muncy and Blake Snell are the key to this whole thing.
Yeah.
And obviously Mookie getting back to at least somewhat of what Mookie was. But they know what they have. They know where these guys are in terms of their progress, in terms of their rehab, in terms of their, return to where they need to be. I'm fine with this trade deadline. Let's talk about the trade deadline as a whole in terms of the National League getting a whole freaking lot better. I mean, the National League was already tougher than the American League, just based on the amount of talent and all of these things. The Mets got a lot better, and so did the Phillies.
How about them Padres?
How about the Padres?
That's the one. I mean, they signing up everybody here. Of course, down to the 11th hour there was maybe the chance they were going to trade away Dylan Cease or Luis Ariz or whatever. But now the clear holes they had on the roster, they seem to be pretty filled. You're plugging in what's his name? Ryan O'Hearn over Gavin Sheets as your DH. You have somebody capable, and Ramon Laureano playing left field, right field, center field, whatever you need him to do. Mason Miller. These are 4-inning ball games now with the bullpen that they have. It's already the best bullpen, one of the best bullpens in baseball, let alone the National League. Now you're also adding Mason Miller, who, he hasn't had the same sexy season he's had the last year or two.
He's also the entire team. Now he's going to a team that is, you can just
going
be
to Petco, playing not in a minor league baseball park. There's actual fans. As much shit as I talked about Padres fans or whatever over the years, they're good now. Padres fans are good now. They actually understand the team. They were just discovering baseball in 2019 and 2020. Now they kind of get it. Not all of them. Some of them kind of get it. And Petco Park shows up and shows out. And it's a hell of a place to watch a ball game, play a ball game. But that is going to invigorate these dudes who were playing in front of, I don't know, the local longshoremen or whatever happens in Sacramento. Or good on them. Good on these particular dudes from a baseball standpoint. Laureano playing for something meaningful, or O'Hearn, Mason Miller. Good on those dudes for playing for something meaningful.
And the Padres got a shit ton better. But let's look at the Mets too, who very well could be an opponent on the way to the, wherever. No, that's fine. No. We don't have to throw it up. But the point is, they got Cedric Mullins from the Orioles, a great defensive and hitting outfielder. Obviously, they got Ryan Helsley. They got Tyler Rogers. So their bullpen was already good, and their bullpen just got a lot better. So again, these are National League teams that are going to be contenders. They could be the ones that are trying to stand in the way of what the Los Angeles Los Angeles Dodgers are doing. The Brewers didn't add anything, but they're first in the National League Central. The Cubs, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. And this, to me, is the time of year when things really get exciting, right?
Yeah.
This is the only trade deadline we have. It used to be two, remember? There was one in July. There was one in August.
Yeah.
Now, this is the only one that we have. Now, I feel like, okay, come August 1st is when you're really, really scoreboard watching. And I think it's fun. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, competition. I've said it earlier today. I've said it a million times. Dino Ebel told us this after the Dodgers won the World Series last year. This team believes that, amongst other things, them having to play for the NL West late into the season helped them win that World Series. Competition helps everybody. You didn't necessarily. We talked about them earlier. Phillies getting Yohan Duran, Harrison Bader. If I'm looking at those three teams, I think the Phillies scare me the most. Between Mets, Phillies, and Padres, specifically in the National League, who's got you kind of looking over your shoulder?
I've always been afraid of the Phillies. I think their lineup is stupid.
Respectfully.
I know. I mean, it's just good. It's just good. I like them. I like their makeup. I've always liked the Phillies, the Mets too. But I feel like, I don't know. Again, it all depends on who's healthiest and who's playing above their skis at the right time. I mean, the Padres, of course, are good, but I think we're fine. It all depends on how we match up in terms of the little bracket there and who's healthy and who is playing really good baseball at the right time. It's always how it is. Doesn't matter. You can win 102 games, 105 games a year.
Yeah. Got a couple of chats I wanted to get through as well. Much earlier in the chat, P. Kasumi had said, please somebody tell me how the Padres don't run out of prospects to trade. They can do it. The Dodgers can't. The Dodgers choose not to.
That's not true. The Dodgers have plenty of prospects. They're just smarter with it. Like I feel like the Padres every year have to prove like, oh my God, we're going to give away the farm just to try to be competitive. The Dodgers don't have to do that. This is the Dodgers are one of a few teams of all 30 that can constantly reload. It's not even a rebuild. It's a constant reload, and they never have to give away their farm system. So it's like they're unbelievably good at development in terms of young players, but they also field a competitive big league club. There's not a lot of teams in all of baseball that can do both, and the Dodgers are phenomenal at that. So that's not true that the Dodgers can't. They just don't have to.
Yeah,
they're
they
very
don't have
smart
to,
about who they trade away.
Yeah, they choose not to. That's an important thing. But yeah, the first part of that too, like how come the Padres never run out? I don't know. Preller be shopping. L.A. Lou sent us a $10 super chat. Thank you very much. The Dodgers didn't need much, as we have said and opined. Got the two pieces, also getting back some key players, as we have also said here, and liking that other minor league deal they swapped for Hunter Fiducia there with Paul Gervais, I believe the name was. I think Adam Surmanowski, and of course they pick up the Tibbs kid from Boston for
Tibbs
Dustin
the third,
May.
by the way.
Tibbs the third.
Remember this. This is one thing I want before we say goodbye, which I know we're not saying goodbye yet, but one thing that I want you guys to remember is prospects are cool, parades are cooler. Like, don't worry about what the prospects are doing. Like, I get it. Everybody wants to keep like all their top tier prospects and stuff, and the Dodgers are super good about that. But the Dodgers are built to win today. The Dodgers are not worried about. I mean, they make deals obviously for the future as well, but stop. Stop, because you'd be super duper pissed if they're like, well, we're not going to worry. We're going to go ahead and punt on 2025. We're really just going to work on 2027 and beyond. You as a Dodger fan, not saying you, Clint, but you as Dodger, all of us would be super pissed if they're like, no, we're basically foregoing this season and we're going to worry about the future. No, that doesn't fly. And they're very good about doing all of it, developing and fielding a great competitive team.
Couple of super chats before we shift gears, but two more, both from our friend Francisco Diaz, who hangs out here with us on the chat. Appreciate you. Says, not going to lie, I was doomsdaying watching the Dodgers after the call trade, but took some time to breathe and relax, which we recommend to every fan when it comes to the trade deadlines. Part of why we went live a little bit after. Let your brain kind of process what happened. But notice that he's kind of, I called him the Timu Stephen Kwan, because the numbers are very comparable. Hoping he could be in center and having Pajes in right field and Teoscar in left field, that helps the defense leaps and bounds. And then he also added at the end of the day, I may not like the moves today, but this is the team for the stretch run. Time to have faith and support. Hashtag let's go Dodgers. Good stuff there. And also believe in Andrew Friedman.
Agreed. I believe in it. Let's think about this too, just for a devil's advocate situation. Not to like, listen, I have no idea what it's like to be a president of baseball operations for any team and everything that they have to go through and all that things. But AJ Preller and Jerry Dipoto of the Seattle Mariners are known for making a billion moves all of the time, right? So you want the movers and the shakers. Yeah. Everyone's like, our front office didn't do anything. What the fuck? Oh my God, we did nothing. We got Brock Stewart. Blah, blah, blah. These two GMs or president of baseball ops rather have made a billion moves every single year for as long as I've covered the sport, right? Since they've been in their respective positions and with other teams prior to where they are right now. When was the last time either one of those teams, the Seattle Mariners or the San Diego Padres, won a World Series? So you can make all the moves that you want to move and like look at what we're doing. Look at what we're doing it. We're making moves. We're buying and selling. We're doing all this shit. It doesn't matter how many moves you make if the shit that you do does not pan out. So think about that for a hot second. Yeah. Do you want quantity of moves or do you want a quality of team that you know is going to get to the postseason? And think about what they want to do right now. What are the pieces that they legitimately need to win right now?
Yeah, I want my team to win the World Series, not win the trade deadline. And the Dodgers, they did that last year. That's what we're looking for again. We have some more Dodgers talk here to be thrown at your face. I don't know. That was a bad transition. But anyways, I want to talk a little bit more about Brock Stewart, and we're going to do that in part of our DraftKings Player Spotlight.
Okay.
That's right. This is the DraftKings Player Spotlight. Today we are shining a spotlight on the return of old friend Brock Stewart. Let me set the stage for you here a little bit. Obviously, you got to spend some time with the kid as he made his debut.
I did. I remember.
But former Dodger draft pick, for the people who maybe don't know, he was a 6th-round draft pick by the Dodgers in 2014. Made his debut 2 years later. He actually had a crazy rise going from single-A, double-A, triple-A, and major league debut all in that 2016 season. The numbers weren't always pretty. He was kind of like a sinker ball starter. It didn't work. He was still figuring some bits of his game out. He was claimed off waivers by the Blue Jays in 2019, kind of moved around since then, but suddenly he becomes a flame-throwing back end of the bullpen reliever. As I said earlier, after a visit to one of those complexes where they teach you how to be real good at pitching, and it turned him into this dude who is all of a sudden like a pretty big asset to add at the trade deadline. By the numbers, 0.65 ERA in 28 games in 2023. Bad ERA last year, 5.17, but the FIP said he was much better at 3.8, but this year, 2.38 in a career high 39 appearances. Been very, very good. Solid addition to the bullpen, but I care about the person. Tell us about Brock Stewart, the person that you know that got to spend some time with as he was making his debut.
I mean, it's insane because I never saw Brock's stuff or his demeanor as a bullpen guy, and apparently I was super wrong. And apparently the Twins saw that, and he's had success. And if that's what it takes to elongate his career, God bless him, right? He was a kind of guy in the starting rotation that there were days that he had really good stuff, but it wasn't, in my opinion, a guy that like you knew every 5th day he was going to walk out there as a starter and give you 5 or 6 innings and keep you in the game. I mean, he's had some really, really crappy outings, and I think the bullpen's the best place for him. And whatever it was when he went to the pitching lab or whatever it is that the Twins unlocked, it's worked. And again, that was part of what I said the Dodgers needed to do. I mean, I see people in the comments saying that they didn't address the needs. Yes, they did. They did address the needs. They got another bullpen arm. The kid has a 2.38 ERA in a career high 39 appearances so far this season. They addressed that bullpen need. They addressed the outfielder need that can actually hit and drive in some runs with Call, and they traded Outman, so I'm okay with that. this is the part that we'll see how he does. I think coming back to LA, anytime you go from a team that's you're going to be done, October 1st, and you're starting to make reservations on the golf course for tee times, and all of a sudden you're back in LA and you have a chance to go back to the postseason. I mean, that's got to fire a guy up. And he does not have to be the man. And that's okay. I think when you're a starter, every fifth day, you kind of have to be the man. And now he doesn't. And I like that. I like that for him. And I like that for this team. I've seen him grow up too. I was his first interview when he got called up. I saw him. I mean, I wasn't at the wedding, but he got married and they have 2 kids now and the whole thing. Like, you just see the development of the player and the person and the evolution of what he is. And I'm happy. I'm happy for him. And I think it's a good move for the Dodgers. Is it Evan Phillips? Maybe not, but he does fill a void.
And the thing that's really cool about it, he could be the next one of those failed starter turned reliever dudes that just are always fun to watch. Never give up on your career. Don't let your dreams be dreams, as what's his name told us in that weird meme that still goes around, the kid from the Transformers. But anyways, I digress on that.
But that's why I think Dustin May would be better suited in the bullpen.
Yeah.
I really think Dustin May could have a reinvention of his career and elongate his career, and maybe he'll do that. I mean, Boston needs starters desperately. So I'm assuming he's going to be a starter for the remainder of this year, and he's a free agent after this year, and I'm sure he wants to be a starter. I mean, starters generally get paid better than relievers, but I think you can have a better, more successful career as a 2-pitch pitcher like that Dustin May is in the bullpen. So I'm excited for Brock. I think it's a good move for him, obviously. And I think it's a good move for the Dodgers.
Great move for the Dodgers. But we do want to thank DraftKings for presenting this segment on Dodgers territory. Why don't you tell the people about Pick 6?
Absolutely. Pick 6 from DraftKings is the most fun way to play fantasy sports. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code FOUL. That's code FOUL. That is foul, obviously, for new customers to get a special sign-up offer. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
All right, guys, I want to introduce you to this little pupper. Her name is Havana. Listen to this story. So my best friend Karina and her husband live in Inglewood. Ramon, my best friend's husband, was walking their dog Miles, and all of a sudden this pup, Havana, we named her Havana, she comes running up to Ramon and runs into their house. She was basically begging for help. She is severely, severely emaciated. This is obviously something that did not happen overnight. So either she was purposely being starved or she's been living on the streets for months. So the angels guided her to Ramon and Karina. She definitely needs to get healthy. So she is going to the vet tomorrow. She's itty bitty. We got her into a foster home, but we could severely use some donations for her vet costs and her foster needs. You can go to guidrysguardian.org for more information. She's not ready for adoption yet. We need to get her healthy first, and then she will be ready for adoption. But she's less than a year old and has been severely abused, but we're going to get her healthy. So check her out at guidrysguardian.org. All right, what's coming up on All Dodgers with Clint Pasillas?
Well, nothing coming up because we were live for the entire trade deadline, living through that all. So if you want to go through it like I did with my buddies Kevin and Jeff, go check that out. All Dodgers is here on the YouTube. We will be live again tomorrow before the game to kind of reset where the roster is at. Of course, a lot of roster moves coming for the Dodgers ahead of this Tampa Bay series, but we'd appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button over there and, of course, over here. And, guys, hit that like button as well. We are dangerously close to 100 likes on this video, on this live edition of the show. We'd love to get there while we're still here live.
Don't you think this is a fun time of year, though? It almost feels like a massive reset. Like, we really appreciate the fact that, like, okay, there's just one trade deadline, right? We don't have to wait for this other trade deadline in August and this. This is your team, right?
Yes.
So this is who we are going forward with for the remainder of the season, whether it's 60 games or whatever the heck it is. I know we're past the 100 mark at this point. So the point is, like, this is your team, right? And I really feel like now it's fun to really scoreboard watch and what is everybody doing and how are we jockeying for position? This is a fun time. And I'm excited to be a part of a group, a team that like is good. You know what I mean? Like it's fun to be able to pay attention and cover and love a team that is good and gives a shit.
Yeah, as good as their show is, I would feel quite miserable to be on Snakes territory right now. Thank God we get to be on Dodgers territory and always have an organization that is in, even when they don't make all of the deals that the fans want. They didn't go out and get Stephen Kwan. They did what you asked, Alanna. Get him a reliever, get us an outfielder, go get to October when everybody's going to be happy and healthy, knock on desk, and get Mookie right. That's the most important thing. Mookie's got to get right in Tampa.
Yep. You guys don't forget. Everybody argues that Eugenio Suarez was the biggest pickup, I guess, the biggest available bat. I agree with that. Okay, good for him. He's in Seattle now. Good for him.
I love what the Mariners did. So good.
The Mariners did a ton. Again, but Jerry DiPoto is always like moving and shaking and doing all these things. Like the Mariners, it's one thing to do all, like you said, it's one thing. Thank you, Ella Sheva Jones. We love you. It's one thing to, okay, great. So they won the trade deadline. Good for them. If they don't make the postseason or if they don't get deep into if the Astros boot them out again, so who cares? By the way, Carlos Correa going back to Houston, whatever, that's a whole other show. That's on Crush Territory. Check them out on Crush Territory on the Foul Territory Network. But let me tell you this, like, you can do all of those things. If you don't get into the postseason, it doesn't make a difference. So let's keep that into perspective and just be grateful that this is a team that we can bitch about when they've gone to the postseason a billion straight years, right? Yeah. I mean, like, breathe, people.
Breathe. It's going to get better. You get to see this new-ish look team play baseball again at a minor league park or wherever Tampa's playing. That's just the whole problem there. But you get to see him tomorrow. You get to see Alex Call
Tampa's not making the postseason, so whatever. It's
they kind of pushed a chip or two in. They're at the penny slots. That's what they were doing right there. One final super chat on the way out. Albert. Thank you very much, Albert Soy, if I'm saying that right. You two do a great job of the show. Keep it up. Thanks. Thank you, Albert. We appreciate
Albert,
you.
I love you. Thanks so much. 1999. We appreciate you, sir. All right. So Clint and I will be back with a brand new episode on Monday, normal time, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Enjoy the weekend, you guys.
Aegon joining us.
Yes, Adrian Gonzalez will be with us on the show on Monday, talking all things Dodgers, his perspective of this team. He's opening up a new restaurant, a new pizza place in LA, so we'll talk to Aegon on Monday. And we appreciate you guys as always. Thank you so much. Keep the faith. Clint and I will see you on Monday. Good night, y'all. Go Dodgers.
Bye.